Friday afternoon, you guys. Down there evening.
Maybe I don't want to be a reporter. I always thought I wanted to be one, golf all day, just write a couple stories or something.
You're the golfer, right?
Not every time. In May, I go a couple times. I hit somebody in the
Regionals?
yeah, the Regions Pro-Am. I plugged somebody this year. I don't know, hole 17 and par 3, right in the crowd. I didn't have enough time to practice this year. So no hole in one, did the tournament after either.
Yeah.
So,
Coach, you want to just go ahead and just give a general opening statement about the team and the foreign trip, and then we'll go ahead and get.
yeah, I'm excited about our team. The foreign trips turned out to be great. I've seen some itineraries on what we're going to be able to do. I'm excited to. I've never been to Spain. Last time I was in France, I was in college, so it's been a while. I'm excited to make the trip. Our players are excited. I'm excited to get these practices with our guys. They starting to bond, starting to play well together. Got a lot of new guys that I'm excited about. The returners have gotten better. So it's been a good summer as far as that goes. I think our guys are in the gym working hard, getting better. Now this foreign trip will be a way to get to play 3 quality teams over there. We're not, I think you know me well enough. We're trying to play the best teams we can. We had the #1 strength of schedule in the country last year. When we make this foreign tour, we're actually playing the China national team. We're going to play the Lithuania men's B team, so that'll be good. And then there's a Spain select team that'll have some pros, from Spain. So we got 3 good teams. It'll be good for our guys to play against these pros over there. It'll be good to, you gotta. It's a little different. The 24-second shot clock, I don't think it's going to bother us too much. We don't usually get down to the last 6 seconds anyways, but there's some different rules. We had a FIBA ref in today with a couple SEC guys. Make sure our guys are shoot the coaches have to get accustomed to the rules. There's some differences, but it's still going to be basketball. It's going to be good for our guys. It's going to be a great experience. I'm excited to make the trip.
Thanks, Coach. Let's go and take questions, starting with Charlie here on the far left.
We saw Jaden and Namari out there today. They look like they weren't limited. Is everything okay with them from a health standpoint? And also, how's Javon doing in his recovery?
Yeah, so we'll start with Javon because he's not practicing obviously yet, but he is doing great. He's really focused on his rehab, his nutrition. He's getting his body back to where it needs to be. His weight training. I think Henry, our new strength coach, has been great. So Javon's been in there. I think he's right on pace to. We were hoping to have him back by SEC play. We might get him back a little bit earlier. It'd be great if we could get him some non-conference games in before we hit SEC play. So he's doing good. Namari has not been limited for a while now. He can do everything in practice. I think maybe there's a transition drill here or there that Clark, depending on how many days in a row we've gone, just to make sure he's not tired new, but he's pretty much full go. And he's looked good too. So, he's making shots, he's attacking, he's playing good defense. Jaden Bradley's coming off the foot surgery. He's going to be limited minutes on the foreign tour just to make sure we're smart with it. And we're going 6 days in a row this week. We started Monday and we're going to do an inter-squad scrimmage tomorrow. That'll be open to the public. So this was our 5th day in a row, and we've got the inter-squad scrimmage tomorrow, which is going to be a full 40-minute game. So we tried to make this practice more like a day before a game practice. So there was nothing today that Jaden was limited from doing just because it was limited anyways. Full practice, if we were going full 2.5 hours, he would be limited to some stuff just to be smart. But you saw he played 6 minutes for, the closest thing to a real game in practice we could get, and he did the full thing. So he's getting there. He's got to get in better shape. It's just, he was off basketball for 4 or 5 months, so he's just got to get back in the flow again, but it's coming for him.
Stay on the left side. Joey, you had a question?
Hey, Coach. In the limited time we were out there with Darius Miles, looked like he was having a lot of fun out there. And just talk about, he's also was very vocal, not just on the court, but in the huddle as well. And just talk about his growth in this offseason as well as, maybe his growth in leadership as well.
Yeah, so after the season, we had our end-of-season meetings with everybody on the team. And, you talked about, you want to make sure their expectations are going to match up somewhat with ours. And, different guys hit the portal after those meetings just to get in a spot that's good for them. And Darius made it clear to the coaching staff he really wants to be here. He loves Alabama. You know, what was wrong with Darius last year, he took ownership for and wants to fix it. Like, he said all the right things, and we really believed he was trying to change some things in terms of him the player we think he can be, and so far he's done a pretty good job with it. I mean, he's coming in the morning, getting early workouts, he's been a vocal leader, he's been playing pretty hard, he was great today in practice, but no, he's been the vocal leader so far. You know, he's the guy that's been in the program the longest. I mean, Javon's been in 1 year longer on his redshirt year, but him and Javon have played, 2 years each, and Javon's not practicing right now, so Darius the only guy practicing right now that's played 2 years for us. So, while it's crazy to think he's the most veteran guy on the team, he is. Noah Gurley's played a year, Charles played a year, and they're good, and they pick their moments to speak. And Don Welch is a fifth-year senior, but he hasn't played here. So, Darius is naturally outgoing, talkative. He's been here the longest. Like, it makes sense that he leads. We just need him to be consistent in his effort every day. And if he's that, he can be that leader that you saw out there today.
Jump on the right side, Michael. Right behind you.
Just with the freshmen, how are they fitting in, and with all the new pieces, how's the chemistry look for this team?
You know what? I try to have individual meetings with the guys fairly often. Met with a few of them yesterday. They all tell me that the chemistry's great. The guys that are returning think it's better than it was last year, and they think everybody's really in it for the team this year. And I hope that continues to be the case when you have to divvy up minutes, because it's easy to be all about the team when there's no minutes or shots or any, not everybody's going to play as much as they want. But I think as of right now, like, it's a great group. Like, they're all working hard. They seem like they hang out more together off the court. It's good. Brandon Miller was talking to me, this is the closest team he's ever been on, and he's only been here for 2 months now. So, which is great to hear. I mean, I think Brandon's a great kid, which goes into your first question, how are the freshmen coming along? So we've got 4 of them. We talked about Jaden Bradley a little bit, and he's coming. You can see, I mean, he's got a really high IQ. He's got to get back into basketball shape. He's got to get everything back to 100% physically, but he's smart, he's tough, he competes. He's gonna be really good for us. He's gonna create a lot of offense for us. Himself getting down the hill, creating offense for his teammates. We're excited about him. We think he can be a really good defender. Brandon Miller's ultra talented, can really play 1 through 4. Handles the ball like a point guard. Can really shoot it, can finish at the rim. Got length and athleticism. He's been great. He's a good kid. I love having him around. Noah Clowney's can really help us on the defensive end. He can also make step out and make some threes. He's been good on the offensive boards. He can play kind of as an undersized. He's 6'10", so I don't know how undersized he is, but he's not big and strong. He needs to put some weight on, but he can play some 5 like that for us. He can play some 4, and we can get play a bigger guy like Brandon at the 3 some, and really put some size and length out on the floor with some athleticism. He's been able to block shots, get his hands on a lot of loose balls, so he's been good that way. And then Rylan Griffin's been making shots here lately. He's working really hard. He comes in every morning, gets shots up, he's been in the gym. He's got to make an adjustment on the defensive end. He's got to get better handling the ball and all that. But as far as just a catch and shoot 3-point shooter, he's been great, and he's starting to figure the defense out. So, been pretty pleased with all 4 freshmen so far, to be honest with you.
Stand right side, Chase, you have a question?
Coach, just curious if you could tell us what the blue squares that were taped down all over the practice floor, what that was about.
That's just the way we space on offense. I think everybody's curious about all that stuff when we first got here. I think somebody might even wrote an article about it, to be honest with you, but trying to figure out which ones there's. We've got the 4-point line, which is obvious, that's a spacing line. We've got the dunker squares down by the baseline where we want our bigs kind of finding themselves after they've done rolling to the rim and kind of stretching the floor out. We've got we call them Houston spots. Back when we studied a lot of NBA teams, back when I was in Buffalo, we studied the Rockets heavy one off season, just how far they space their trail wing. So that's those blue squares up on the wings, like high out. We want our guards spaced that far out on the floor, but that's all that. And then the corners, we want you to run to the corner, and there's one more box on top of that where you kind of lift up if you're the shake man in a pick and roll, or we call it a lift man. So I'm trying to think that I guess there's 8 boxes on each end of the floor, so those would be your boxes. I didn't realize we had that many. But yeah, I guess if you haven't watched us practice before, that's what that stuff is.
We got 2 more questions. We'll start here in the middle and finish with Charlie.
Coach, you seemed less than pleased with the defensive effort at times last season. I know you touched on Darius being a bit later. He seemed to be really going hard on defense out there. As the whole team just kind of, are they giving you the effort you want to see on defense, or are you still looking to see a little more there?
Yeah, it's probably an understatement about last year's defensive group, but we weren't happy at all with the defense last year. I think our guys realize, guys that have been here for 2 years ago when we won the SEC regular season and tournament, and last year, how much defense matters. Guys like Darius, Javon Quinterly, so they saying the right things. Some days in practice are better than others. I think we've got a group that's capable of being a great defensive team. Part of our problem last year was, we like to play 4 guards a lot. We didn't have many options. Primo went out probably a year before we thought, but it was great. He ends up in the lottery, we're super happy for him. But then Namari gets injured, and we have 4 perimeter players in the rotation. That's it. So, if we decide to play 4 guards, those are your options, like for the most part. So, this year I think we got a lot more options. If you're not going to guard, you're not going to play. That's just it. So, I think you see guys competing a little harder. Sears and Jaden Bradley both compete on the ball a lot harder than what we had last year. You got some length out there. Last year if we put 4 guards out, it's Quinterly, JD, Shaq, Keon Ellis a lot of times. Well, Keon Ellis 6'4", 6'5", Shaq 6'3", JD 6'3", Quinterly 6'2", whatever it is. Like, that's not that big in our league. Now this year, you put Clowney at the 4 at 6'10", Brandon Miller at the 3 at 6'8", 6'9", Amari Burnett's got a 6'10" wingspan, put him at the 2 or the 3, Don Welch 6'5", 6'6", play the 3. Like, you can put some legitimate size and have positional size over the floor like we had the year before. When we had Primo, Petty, Herb Jones, you had big wings, big guards that you could put on the floor. So we've got that this year. We just got to get them to really buy into playing hard every play. I think we're getting that this summer so far, so hopefully it continues.
All right, let's finish up with Charlie here on the left.
Obviously, outside of going 3-0, what does a successful foreign tour look like to you?
Yeah, you know what? I don't know if these are pros we're going to play against over there. I'm playing the China national team. Like, they've got guys that were drafted in the first round in the lottery that play for China. Like, we're going to see real men. So I'm not. I play every game to win. I think you guys know me well enough. I'm not going to go over there and just play everybody and lose. We're going to try to win the games. But I think to be successful, whether we win or lose, and I just don't know how good these teams are going to be. If they're great and we go 1-3, we could still have a successful trip, to be honest with you. And if they're end up not being as good as maybe I think they are now, we go 3-0, I might not be that happy depending on how we play. I think if we give great effort on the defensive end all the time, which didn't happen last year, and then we really move the ball and you can see the chemistry's there and everybody's just pulling for the team to get a great shot and nobody's hunting their own, I think I'll feel great after the trip. Like, defensive effort, unselfish, playing the offensive end, whatever happens with the scoreboard at the end, I'll be fine. So, and we're going to play to win, but we're going to try to get all the scholarship guys over there pretty good minutes just to give them all pretty good, chance to play. And I don't know if the games are going to be streamed or not. I don't think they are. So we'll have to send you box scores or something. Let you guys have it. So there you go.
Put some videos out on Twitter.
Yeah. Only like highlights. We aren't going to put all the video out for everybody's scouts yet. So, do we have anybody from Buffalo on the Zoom?
Yeah, we got Markel. Do we have any questions for Coach Oats on the Zoom call? Just use your raise hand function if there are any. I think Markel might have a question, Stephanie, if you want to let him ask one.
Starting to get excited with the Buffalo reporters.
What does that mean?
I thought they were gonna ask me about the TBT, but.
Markel, you there? You got a question? Can you hear?
We're unable to hear you.
Is that better?
There we go.
I'm sorry. How's it going, Coach? I wanted to ask about Don Welch. I covered him since he was a young kid, and I found out he wanted to memorialize the Tops victims by changing his jersey number. Can you kind of tell me, how did you find that out, his decision to do that, and what does that say about his character to commemorate these people?
Yeah, I kind of get goosebumps right now just thinking about it, to be honest with you, because Coach Hodgson, who's also from Western New York, grew up in Jamestown, was the first one who kind of told me, him and Dom had talked about it. So, you know, that was pretty tragic for tragic for all of America, to be honest with you, but especially there in Western New York, where, you know, me and my family lived for 6 years, where Coach Hodgson grew up and was raised. So, you know, as you know, Dom played there at Cheektowaga. I watched him play in high school too. We tried to recruit him when we were at Buffalo. But, you know, he's from Buffalo, right there in the city, so 10 victims that were killed there at Tops, and when he came here, you know, everybody's got to figure out New Jerseys, and this guy wore this here and that, and so, you know, him and Brian talked, and I, you know, came up with the idea to, you know, he's got 1 year here, let's wear number 10 to kind of memorialize or, you know, bring attention to the top shooting victims. I thought it was great. I think it shows a lot about him. It's not just about him. He's playing basketball for more than just him. He's kind of playing for his community, his family that's from Buffalo. And I thought it was a great idea. So I was kind of for it. I didn't even cross my mind to do anything like that. But, you know, whether it was his idea, Coach Hodgson's idea, or somebody from back home's idea, whatever, whosever idea it was, the fact that he wanted to do it, I think speaks volumes to his character and just kind of kid he is, and he's been great since he's been here this summer.
Do you have any follow-up? That's a little follow-up. All right. Very good.
All right, yeah, let's cheer on the TBT team, 6 o'clock tonight. What do we, horns up back then, right, for Buffalo, roll tide, horns up.